Hey guys, my name is Matimeo, and welcome to another episode of Sunday Mailbox. This is a video series where you, the viewer, can submit your gaming or Battlefield-related questions, and then I will give my humble opinion on them. To get the format out of the way real quick, if you would like to submit your own question that can be featured in an upcoming episode, you can do so by leaving a comment down below, or by sending me a Facebook and Twitter message. The first question for the day comes from Justin, and it is, why do you think that Battlefield Hardline has failed on PC, but has done well on the next-gen consoles? I surprisingly have gotten this question a lot over the last couple of days. I'm assuming it's in relation to my criticism on the recent Hardline DLC, but I think it can be explained for a few reasons. The biggest and most obvious is that there just is not a wide selection of first-person shooters to choose from on the next-gen consoles. You have Battlefield Hardline and Battlefield 4 and like Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, but that's really about it. You could argue that there's a few free-to-play games like Blacklight, Retribution, but for the most part, if you want to play a first-person shooter, there isn't a wide variety to choose from. You look over at PC though, you basically have every first-person shooter that has ever come out, like ever come out. That's one of the best things about playing on PC, is that you have this huge library at your disposal. You want to go big AAA first-person shooter? There's Counter-Strike, there's Call of Duty, Battlefield, every single Battlefield that's come out. You want to go indie? There's Insurgency, Red Orchestra 2. Every single type of first-person shooter that you want, it's probably out there and ready for your enjoyment. And so for a lot of people that play on PC, if a game comes out and it doesn't tickle their fancy or it doesn't blow them away, they have so many other games to choose from. The market is so saturated that they're gonna go find something else that does it maybe even just slightly better, and they're gonna play that instead. And so I think that really is the biggest contributing factor as to why Hardline hasn't done as well on PC. The other reason is that I think that Hardline just plays better on consoles. You might be thinking, wait a second, they're basically the same game, why would it play better? Well, one of the biggest criticisms that the PC community had is that the time to kill is crazy fast. You basically die instantly because every gun hits extremely hard. There's a lot of recoil on all of the weapons, but because on PC you're using a mouse that allows you to compensate for that recoil very easily, like the average gamer with a mouse is gonna have no problem compensating for that recoil, and so you just die ridiculously fast in that game, making it nearly impossible for you to react to a firefight. Like if you come across someone and they get the drop off on you, you're probably not going to come out of that firefight alive because of that very fast time to kill. On consoles, on the other hand, because you're using the sticks, you're using the controller, it makes it a little bit more difficult for you to have that pinpoint-like accuracy. I realize that there are some gamers out there that are amazing with a controller. Some of you guys can do some pretty crazy things on the sticks. Like, don't get me wrong, I realize that those people are out there, but a large majority of the player base, a large majority, or I'd say the average user on these next-gen consoles playing a first-person shooter, they're gonna have a harder time reeling in that recoil and having that pinpoint-like accuracy. The result of this is that it slows down the gameplay a little bit. Not a crazy amount by any means, but if someone's trying to take you out 40 or 50 meters away, you don't die instantly. It happens all the time on PC. If someone's using the M16 or the M416, even if you're 40 or 50 meters away, because it's just really easy to reel in that recoil and that crazy time to kill, it doesn't even give you time to react at those extreme distances. On console, on the other hand, it's a slightly different story. You can maybe duck for cover, you can regenerate your health, you can maybe retaliate because of the simple mechanics of using a mouse and keyboard over something like the controller. And so I think it really just comes down to those two factors as to why Hardline has seen more success on the next-gen consoles. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe you guys have some other theory as to why the game has succeeded on that platform while it's completely failed on PC. And if you do have that reason, let me know down below. I'm curious to know what you guys think on this topic. But when we really get down to it, I think that those are the two largest reasons. The next question comes from Tyler, and it is, do you think that the wait time for the UCAV and the mortar to initially load is too long? The way that DICE has gone about nerfing the UCAV has been beautiful. It's essentially kept it viable. It's not useless, which I assumed it was going to be after the nerf, but it's also not the ridiculous, overpowered, annoying thing that it was before the update. When I learned that DICE was going to be nerfing the UCAV, I assumed that the damage was going to get slapped in the face. If they did that, if they nerfed the damage, let's be honest, it probably would have joined the ranks of the Riot Shield or all of the other useless gadgets in the game. I want every gadget to be viable. I don't want to see that. Even though I hate the UCAV, I would hate if it was was completely useless. I want gadgets to be fun to use, and I want them to have a place on the battlefield, but let's be honest, if they nerfed the damage, it probably would have gone down that route. On the other hand, though, we needed to find a way to make it so that players couldn't constantly spam these things downrange. At the start of Rush, it was a nightmare. Both sides would activate their UCAVs basically 10 seconds into the round, and then pretty much everyone would die because of the UCAV spam. It was a serious issue. Even on game modes like Conquest, if there was a commander who was plopping down that supply crate, someone could have an infinite amount of UCAVs and spam these things downrange and go like 20-1 before someone finally uses their own UCAV to take them out. Like I've seen montages of people do it, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And so the way the DICE has worked around it is that you have to now wait an entire minute after your respawn before you can activate these gadgets. This means that you have to make the conscious decision to either wait in your deployment, bore yourself to death for an entire minute after every single time that you spawn on in, waiting to use one of these things, or have fun and play the objective. This has dramatically decreased the amount of UCAV spam. Not only because it's just difficult to reach that 1 minute mark, like, I mean, you die all the time in this game. Just even surviving for an entire minute on the battlefield is no simple task, but even if you do reach that 1 minute mark, usually you're on an objective, you're in the thick of combat, and it's not gonna be the right opportunity to use this bad boy. And so really what it's done is that it's still awesome. It still hits like a truck. If you've unlocked the airburst variant of it, you're still gonna get a lot of use out of it. You can take people that are out on top of buildings, you can still use it on Rush, you can still be that nuisance, but it's nowhere near the ridiculousness that it was in the past, and in my opinion, that is fantastic. And so while I can understand if you are someone who clearly likes to use these gadgets, that this might be a little annoying to you, but from my viewpoint, and I think for a lot of other Battlefielders out there, it's in a sweet spot right now, and I would not want them to increase that reload speed. The next question comes from David, and it is, do you think that DICE will bring more free content to non-premium members in the future? In my opinion, being a non-premium player, I love this idea, but if they were to bring more free content, would it be unfair to premium players in Battlefield 4? No, it wouldn't be unfair. DICE has delivered on all of their promises for Battlefield 4, at least for the premium service. We've gotten all the maps, we've gotten all the weapons and all the new game modes. They have nothing really else to give, and everything at this point is basically extra. And if that extra is free for everyone, I'm cool with that. Actually, I would prefer that that be the case because it keeps the community together. I'm not gonna get into a huge rant about the fracturing of the community and DLCs, but let's be honest, if everything is free, everyone can enjoy it, and probably that's going to extend the life of that content. What was really surprising to me is that people actually complained that this free content that we're getting wasn't exclusive for premium members. Like I said, we already got everything for premium. They don't owe us a thing, but someone was upset that the new Weapons Crate DLC and the new maps, like the new night map and the community map that we haven't gotten yet, to answer your question, yes, there is more free content. All that's gonna be free for everyone, and they were upset because it's not going to be exclusive for premium. I don't know how they twisted that in their mind to assume that they deserved it and no one else did, but apparently there are people out there that are like that. And so to answer your question, simply, yes, there is going to be more free content, and there might even be more after that. If you remember a really long time ago, we had that survey where DICE was trying to get our consensus on what old Battlefield maps we would like to see reintroduced into the Frostbite engine, into Battlefield 4, and I believe that they are still working on those maps. It's kind of hard to say because there hasn't been any new details in a very, very long time. We haven't seen any screenshots, we haven't seen any real concrete details on it, but I believe that those will also be free. And so, yep, you are absolutely in luck. There is more free content, and it looks like you don't even need to be premium to access it. Good day to be a Battlefielder. But yeah, guys, that is about it for today's Sunday Mailbox. I hope you enjoyed. As always, if you would like to submit your own question that could be featured in an upcoming episode, you can do so by leaving a comment down below or by sending me a Facebook and Twitter message. But before I go really quick, I wanted to apologize for Sunday Mailbox being late by a day. I don't know what it is, but over this last week, I have just felt miserable. I've had like a little bit of a cold, allergies have been annoying. Like this entire time I've done today's video, my eyes have been like burning. I've just felt miserable. And so I took a day off. I was gonna take another day off, but I was like, no, need to make Sunday Mailbox. I need to get that out. So I do apologize for the lateness, but that's my excuse, even though it's a bad one. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed, and until tomorrow, have a good one, and take it easy.